How to install Nest thermostat to carrier infinity system.
My name is can help you with this.
Here is a pic of inside my unit. Another. My original thermostat was set up apt.
Can you send me a picture of the model and serial number of your furnace?
Where will that be?
On the side of the furnace on the inside. I just need to know how the manufacturer classifies the terminals apt. If you know where they landed on the old Tstat, that may be helpful, assuming that Tstat was labeled RGBWC.
No, it was labeled apt too. Here you go.
Does the unit have a wiring schematic that shows that Tstat wiring? If so, take a pic of that also.
That it.
Adjacent to the apt is the terminals that will correlate with your Tstat. See them are WYGC. Do you see it?
Right under.
It may be under. After the two terminals labeled hum.
Okay, you see how mine has 2 red wires and 2 white and 1 gray and 2 green right now.
Did you get it located? Can you give me rating?
Where do I need to place them?
The wires need to correspond with where they are wired on that Tstat. R needs to go to R, W to W, and so on.
Both reds go to R. Both greens go to G. Both whites go to W. What about gray?
The wire colors do not matter, it matters where they are landed on that Tstat.
You see in the first pic there are 2 sets of wires. Do I keep them together? There is a harness that runs to the outdoor unit.
Keep them together, just make sure that you correspond the letters on the furnace with the ones on the Tstat.
Okay, what should I do with gray? I have red, yellow, and white and green at that Tstat. But at the unit, yellow is tied to some other wires. See here.
You can put the yellow or Y under the Y on the furnace. Right now they are bypassing the furnace and going straight to the outdoor unit. You will need the Y landed on the furnace so your fan comes on and cooling. Y is cooling, R is 24 V, G is fan, W is heat, C is common.
Just leave gray unhooked.
Your outdoor unit should only have 2 wires going to it, a common and 1 from Y. Where does gray come from?
This thing.
If your Tstat needs a common, then your could land gray on C on both the furnace and Tstat. That is a wet sensor designed to shut off your air conditioner if the drain gets plugged.
Okay, so I'm going to try 2 red on R, 2 green on G, 2 white on W, 2 yellow on Y, leave gray off, and see what happens.
Okay, is that how your Tstat is wired also, but with single wires?
There is RC and RH on Tstat. Does it matter which one I use for red? It says E80 no power to Y1 wire.
Road and RH should be tied together. RC and RH.
All it says is code E80 no power Y1 wire. Some of the wires that go to the outdoor unit have to be for the outside air temp. Nest does not use them, it gets outside temp from Wi-Fi.
Here are some of the most common causes of these errors and how to fix them. For help with specific wiring errors, the Troubleshooting Tool widget will guide you through detailed troubleshooting steps. Wires aren't fully inserted. Make sure the copper part of the wire is fully inserted in each of the connectors. The ends of the wires need to be straight and they need between 1/3 and 1/2 inch of exposed wire for a reliable connection. Stranded wires. The Nest thermostat does not support stranded wires. If your low voltage wires are stranded, each of the low voltage wires is made up of lots of smaller wires, you may run into this error. Reinstall your previous thermostat and contact a Nest Pro installer to have your thermostat wiring replaced or adapted to work with the Nest thermostat. The Nest thermostat wire connectors require 18 to 22 gauge solid core copper wires. Wires are too small. The Nest thermostat might not sense your wiring if the wires for your heating and cooling system are too thin. The Nest thermostat requires wires between 22 and 18 gauge, which is standard for residential heating and cooling systems. Anything smaller than 22 gauge wire could be too thin for the Nest thermostat to detect. If you aren't comfortable replacing the low voltage wiring in your system yourself, contact your local HVAC professional for help replacing these wires. Are your wires stranded?
No, they are solid. Something is not wired up right with the yellow wire.
Okay, Y1 from Tstat wires to Y on furnace and then goes to the outdoor unit. The other wire from the outdoor unit wires to common.
There are 4 wires going to outside unit: white, green, yellow, red. This what I got right now. Tstat.
What wire come from your Tstat? Let's just hook the Tstat to the furnace. We might need to change the wiring outside also. Just hook the Tstat to the furnace right now.
Okay, then what?
Then we will see if your furnace works and then check the connections going to the outdoor unit. What wires are hooked up on the outdoor unit? And where do they hook up?
Here. All 4 up in the corner.
Those need to be landed on the RWYG terminals as well.
Then what about inside unit? Put the 2 wires all together again.
Sorry. The G does not land outside though.
Okay, what do I do with the green wire outside?
Leave it off in the furnace for now. We may need to use it as a common, but we will see.
Don't hook up green from outside on indoor unit either.
Hook G from Tstat, but do nothing with the green that goes outside.
Okay, like this right on indoor unit.
Looks good.
Now try powering up.
Did you rewire the outdoor unit to match the indoor unit?
Now Tstat say E73 no power on RC wire.
Put a jumper between RC and RH. Hold, let me see what Nest says. Nest says to make sure power is turned back on,
Also my indoor fan is running without the Tstat even on the base.
Nest says you need a common.
Okay, how we gonna do that?
Do you have any more wires at that Tstat not being used?
Yeah, I got gray or black. Orange.
Let's use black. Hook it to the C on the Tstat and on the furnace.
What about outside unit?
Do you have a black that goes outside also?
Yeah, but not hooked to anything.
https://nest.com/support/article/what do Nest S error codes mean #E73. I hope this helps.
Powering up. Is the outside unit supposed to come on for heat? The Nest is installed. The heat seems okay. The AC is not working right though. With hot air still, the outside unit comes on, but the coils are hot on the inside unit. I think maybe we need to hook up the O wire spots. What you think? The heat pump is doing opposite of what it's told.
Being a heat pump, it needs a wire on O.
Just use one of my extra wires and hook it up to O on all 3 panels. With the way it's set up so far, the only heat that is working is auxiliary heat. What you think on that? Okay, wired up the O on all panels. The only thing not working now is the heat pump for heat. Any ideas?
Is your Tstat set up to run a heat pump?
I got it all going. Thanks for the help.
Great, can you give me a rating please?
I already did.
Thank you.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now, visit justanswer.com/ythi.